My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. This is P.O.C. and the people of the state are stalking. This is 5 in the morning, stalking over very specific to where I'm located, the El Bacone, and what I'm capturing last night, which you can see clearly on X, the entity engaging in hours of maintaining plane after plane while also making inaccessible the flights published on the Ontario International website The entity not displaying that, as I use that as evidence, relevant context showing how the entity is stalking, but you know that they're stalking because they're flying miles away from the airport and hovering where I'm located throughout the city, and stalking in places in different cities, like in Montclair, flying over my head, in Fontana, flying over my head, while the entities maintaining this ongoing maintenance of the P.O.C. These are the people of the state are stalking. And just like I said, the federal RICO case against the entity is one that is foundational, and you're going to prosecute the people of the state. They are subservient to the government that's engaged in the pattern of conduct, and the people of the state are the government that is gang stalking and furtherance of murder. And they're up doing so at 5:14 a.m., which is relevant context regarding the sex offenders who are the people of the state monitoring my vagina and engaging in what is ongoing harassment, obsessively stalking me at all places and at all times. And this is also relevant context because there is no one, not one person, who is engaging in this pattern of conduct or have in the past, regardless of what happened to you, because you found yourself being targeted by demons and terrorists, where you were formerly targeting me as well. We are not on any team. We are not the same, and we're not going to be teaming up. You're not going to come into association with me. And I've already stated this before, and this includes Tracy Banks, her husband, Jason Fields, her boyfriend, her situationship where you're having sex with, whatever it is. Jason Fields is not coming anywhere near me. And it's never going to happen. This is somebody that's engaging in this pattern of conduct and doing so in this manner where Tracy Banks and this entity has been targeting me for years. And they tried to falsely depict my character while they are literally feces consumers. They are psychotic. And that includes people just as Jason Isaac Fields, regardless of where the circumstances has found you or where life has humbled you. Okay, you're still staying away from me. We will not be there will be no reconciliation, because this is the entity that's engaged in that, and that includes you. The demons turned on you, okay? And this is the pattern of conduct at the Ontario Town Square, and this is exactly why no terrorist is coming around me. All right, this is the pattern of conduct. It is currently 5:15 a.m. This is P.O.C. 9 David W697. That appears to be a Latino male creeping in the middle of the street with another demon over here stalking. They're stalking together. This is gang stalking, 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning to be exact. This is P.O.C. This is the city of Ontario that's gang stalking. And these demons who are rapists, you're stalking a woman in the middle of the night. This is what rapists do. This is what murderers do. And they're doing so while the fake moon, this is indeed following, the fake moon is above. This is P.O.C. It is currently 5:30 a.m. And in case you doubted, there is the city of Ontario confirming that they are stalking. That is the people of the state. The RICO case, that is the foundation of prosecuting the people of the state who are being prosecuted. They're going to prison. They're being deported. I have any gang stalking immigrants in Ontario? You're getting shipped out of the country. I have gang stalkers with minor kids. You're losing custody of those demons that you're gang stalking while you're in custody of. You like creeping around in the middle of the night in the dark, stalking a woman who's also documenting it, which is state action. You're going to be prosecuted as a terrorist, and that's going to have ongoing repercussions for in the trajectory of your life. I mean, you're not just getting another job. You're not going to go from stalking in the middle of the night to going to work for another firm or whatever it is that you call yourself doing. You're a demon, and an exposed one. This is an entity that's maintaining light activity over here. It's impossible light. They're demons. That's not headlights. These are stalkers. And that's what's stalking me in that white car, 9DDW. Stalking, walking in the middle of the street. License 8 Charlie Jack Apple 811. Demon possessed. And it's 5 in the morning. A car full of demons under the fake moon. They are being deported. They are losing custody of children. This is going to be the necessary basis of martial law. You're looking at the entity that's following from the square. I was at the Ontario Town Square. They're flying circles over Elbacon. They come advance all the way over here. And let's get the intersection. They're advancing all the way over here to do cartwheels in front of me, stalking me. That's letting you know about the threat and the obsession of the people of the state, stalking me at Palm and Beach at 5 in the morning. Okay, that's the pattern of conduct. That's the entity these are vagina monitors, a population of sex offenders that are not going to be keeping custody of kids, that are not staying in this country, while Mr. Trump is correct, unfortunately, about immigrants being sex offenders in California. It's absolutely correct. It's absolutely correct. They have proven Mr. Trump correct, and then you're angry about it. But this is your life, and it's being documented. It is currently where the people of the state are being prosecuted on the internet. And there's no controversy in the court of law. Stalking. They're demons and they're stalking. This is P.O.C. It is currently 5:38 a.m. Excuse me, 5:33 a.m. Let me show you this environment where they're engaging in surveillance. This is where they're out walking. They're stalking, they're monitoring. And this is all state action. Okay, the city, in this city of Ontario, that's not a police department. They incentivize stalking, creepy, weird, criminal, perverted behavior. They're being disbanded, and they are the same. They being the Ontario Police Department that crawl into helicopters to do the same thing. P.O.C. This is the entity that is stalking. This is the same city of Ontario, stalking under the fake moon, progressing on now Holt Boulevard. Remember, Euclid Avenue and B Street, they're progressing in order to be in alignment with me, which is what the entity does with the fake sun, what's following with the environment, which is the evidence of stalking. They're doing this through the gang stalkers who are the commercial airline companies, and every single last one of those companies are exposed domestic terrorists who are engaging in what is maintaining a capitalistic endeavor. These corrupt companies have the audacity to be making money while they're also putting your life in jeopardy. Every time you get on these planes that are engaging in terrorism, as I'm showing you that, they also intentionally commit murder and suicide because they kill themselves. They put their own lives in danger when they're crashing intentionally into bodies of water, into mountains, into buildings like what UPS did in Kentucky. UPS is gang stalking me in California. UPS committed murder under the fake sun in Kentucky. This is the entire city of Ontario. The people of the state are federally prosecuted by this pattern of conduct. They're engaging in that pattern of conduct, and the federal RICO case is putting them with no argument. They break the rules, it's subject to prison, they're going to prison. It is simple as that. The case is already solved. This is P.O.C. The entity that is what you are looking at is you are assessing what is the necessity of martial law, what Satan has done amongst a people who are demon possessed, and it requires martial law. And now to put that in layman's terms, this is mental illness. Tremendous, a society of the mentally ill, because the level of money and time and efforts now that are futile. I'm literally capturing video after video, image after image of you stalking me, every step, every move you make. So what is your point? Right? That's what you're looking at. You were never supposed to be caught gang stalking. It was supposed to remain a conspiracy theory. You were supposed to depict that person as someone who's hallucinating. The entity is being shown to be psychotic. They're stalking here at Bonita. Everybody that lives over here, you already know is a stalker. They're doing so in the specific environment. It is P.O.C. Let me show you my shadow that's traveling against. They're stalkers. This is why the entity is following with things such as a fake moon. All right, they are stalkers, all of them. That's impossible light activity. This is a society of demons. In Stater Brothers utility trucks, that is Lopez, I.I.S. Lopez, a stalker. The entity, the state of California, the U.S. creates businesses, and they're engaging in surveillance. I'm going to prosecute all of them. From those that think that they're wealthy and above, I don't know why Mr. Bezos would think that, but you're going to find out how you are not above the law, not even your company. Okay? And you should not assume that it's going to survive a federal prosecution as a terrorist in the United States. To any mom and pop, such as this demon over here that's across the street, okay? That's engaged in the pattern of conduct. Any of these mom and pop businesses, they're engaged in surveillance. And that's what the entity does. They create a business to maintain criminal surveillance. They cannot exist without it. In the same way that the people of the state are not in the city of Ontario, not engaging in the pattern of conduct. They are subservient to this system. And it is literally evident in the environment, let alone the money and time that the government is spending on stalking me. Stalking that is clearly established beyond a reasonable doubt with regard to tangible evidence. This is letting you know what you need to be aware of. The mentally ill who are demon possessed, they're psychotic, they're obsessed, they are stalking you, they're monitoring you. And this is what they're actually concerned about. This is all that is the purpose of everything. Not schooling, not making money, not supporting themselves. This is the entity that's engaging in that. This is P.O.C. At the previous video at B Street and Palm, the fake, this is Holt Street and Bonita, Holt Avenue and Bonita, where the entity is stalking, doing cartwheels over that street, over that neighborhood. And this is the entity that's engaged in that. The city of Ontario using small government planes and all of the commercial airlines who are going to be federally prosecuted. In the city of Ontario, they're being federally prosecuted for criminal activity. It's a federal RICO case. And this is the foundation, like I stated, the people of the state are all being prosecuted because the government is found to be engaging in the pattern of conduct which the people share. The government is doing it through them, with them. Cannot without them. They're doing it in the environment. You see, these are demons that are pacing. They're mentally ill. And they're stalking with light. On the roads and the highways, federal stalking Title 18, it's automatically implicated. This is federal law. This is P.O.C. It is currently, you're talking about damages as well. Damages that you've never contemplated, Mr. Bezos. This is P.O.C. It is currently 5:44 a.m. All right, this is sexual assault and battery, and this is a serial stalker. This is the basis of federal prison. It's under the fake moon. And engaging what is repeatedly molesting. These are hostile demons, so the entity that's being documented engages in violence. You see her fat face? She's in operation of her device. She's a sex offender. This is another exposed closeted homosexual, a predator. Okay? She's engaging in what is sexual violence because she's a demon that's being documented, including while the airport in the city of Ontario is gang stalking. She's going to prance herself, Stater Brothers, which is a defendant, and she's going to federal prison. This is systematic gang stalking and furtherance of my murder. And she likes to engage in sexual violence in doing so. Her little cheapy Civic headlights are not going to create the extraordinary light activity, which is what the people of the state do when they're stalking with light. Driving in it is psychopathic pacing. Under the fake moon, where the city of Ontario is stalking, 7P50814 is sharing in that sex offense. And she likes to engage people to murder them. She's going to prison like any other terrorist. This is licensed 922. She's a sex offender, keeping my vagina under. So good look. This is a sex offender. This is a predator. All right. And this is, again, the city of Ontario. This is P.O.C. This is mental illness. And by the way, windows up knows exactly what I'm saying. It's a demon. P.O.C. That's the pattern of conduct. In vagina monitoring, you engage in violence and you will be exposed and prosecuted like every other terrorist. And you don't have a right to do so. You also don't maintain any privacy. That's the entity. All right. She wants to come up engaging in sexual violence. Okay. Well, you need to make sure that you expose sex offenders for what they are. This is Ontario Village Shopping Center. This is Habit, Stater Brothers. They're all sharing in that together. All the employees in Stater Brothers, they're in there sharing in that sexual assault and battery together. And they also like to get around and ambush regarding my vagina. That's what's stalking with light. P.O.C. It is currently 5:54 a.m. She's monitoring on the venue of the internet. P.O.C. This is as criminal, stalking in the path with light. You know what the entity is doing here? Stalking by plane after plane after plane, which is why you document. You're not getting out of the P.O.C. and you want to be a sex offender. As a sex offender, I'm not only going to drag you, I'm going to prosecute you. And there is no way under the law, under the facts, to get out of that. Where you are, who you are, where you work, all of that is relevant to the ways in which you're going to be prosecuted as well. This is P.O.C. This is terrorism and psychological torture under the fake moon, which is speaking to targeting. Indiscriminate targeting. It's 5:55 a.m. Alrighty, pay attention. They are not flying over the Ontario Town Square anymore, where UPS is acting like they're taking off at Grove and Hope Boulevard while they're stalking me, all right, which is east of this location. This is exactly what I was stating. What are they doing over the Stater Brothers? This is not, again, a takeoff. It's one airport in Ontario, and UPS and Southwest Airlines engaging in that conduct. This is ongoing surveillance. This is serial stalker license 8, Mary, Indiana, Apple, 863, stalking under the fake moon. This is indeed targeting that Stater Brothers is engaging in as well. All right, this is P.O.C. And then they go in and make a purchase. That's the federal RICO case. All right, their employees are in psychopaths pacing around, coming shopping carts and engaging in what is activity creation and engineer light. Engineer light fills the inside of that grocery store. It's already on the record. They're gang stalkers. This is P.O.C. This is an employee walking out monitoring with the people of the state. It is currently 6 a.m. They are gang stalking during business hours as well. P.O.C. Good morning. Okay, that's P.O.C. And I just want to be clear, that is Quinones himself, gang stalking me in furtherance of murder. He's engaged in surveillance with the serial stalkers in the parking lot while the employees are engaged in sexual assault and battery. He's in the parking lot engaging in that pattern of conduct. And this is the entity that is engaged in what is identified as facilitation. Okay, they are under that corrupt leadership inside of the venue, which is a facilitating venue, gang stalking. Everybody's getting out of their car, engaging in surveillance while the government's flying over the parking lot in that specific environment. 8 Larry Apple Sam 817, and that is indeed David Quinones. Okay, the one that is advertised as the manager, This is the Stater Brothers in Ontario, California, but this is the shared pattern of conduct. Stater Brothers in Chino, California, Stater Brothers in San Bernardino, California, Stater Brothers in Upland, California, while I'm documenting this pattern of conduct that is shared amongst the entity, replete with the fake sun and the government that is targeting by these corrupt law enforcement agencies that are stalking by helicopter. David Quinones is engaged in what is serial facilitation, providing a forum for serial stalkers like 8 MIA over here gang stalking with impunity, and they're going to prison for this. You're going to prison for this. These are the laws and ways in which you're going to disincentivize a population from stalking, and they do so and go right in, and Stater Brothers is making money off of it. I'm going to prosecute Stater Brothers itself. This is a federal RICO case, and you have the store manager himself and every other employee under that demon gang stalking me. Okay? Recall the malicious statements made by Salvador while he's gang stalking me with the employees. He is going to federal prison. This is the entity that's engaged in psychological torture. They're monitoring my vagina while you're looking at the store manager with shadows on both sides of his person. That's impossible light while I'm being gang stalked under the fake sun by helicopter and by planes as a matter of evidence for a term of years. The store managers before him gang stalking. This is what Stater Brothers is engaging in. It's not a family market. Stater Brothers is a terrorist. This is P.O.C. and they're a bunch of demons. That's the pattern of conduct. It is currently, by the way, 6:04 a.m. P.O.C. Yeah, this is the light activity that the store manager is engaged in. And this is who's gang stalking me. This is who you just saw. I'm going to federally prosecute the company and the entity itself, which includes the people of the state. Alrighty, as I stated in the video that you just witnessed, the store manager, which is the evidence exhibiting the fact that the entire business is engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct. They are doing so under the corrupt leadership. This is the same with regard to the entity that is gang stalking with any business, as I show you that the employees and those that are subordinates to gang stalkers at any establishment. But moreover, it's not just something that I'm stating, which is logically the case. It is the evidence of the P.O.C. There's no exception. You've got one person gang stalking everybody at that venue is gang stalking. You have the fake sun at that venue. Everyone at that venue is gang stalking. And it's not just that venue. It's an entity that's doing so everywhere that you're going. It's establishing that surveillance is underway. This is mentally ill behavior, okay? This is the entity that's engaging in the pattern of conduct, and they're doing so while you're looking at the store manager, okay? And with the engineer light, crossing my path, psychologically torturing me, threatening me, harassing me, doing so while I'm documenting it as well, which again, as a demon, but also as a co-conspirator of murder that's engaged in surveillance, is aware while surveillance on my devices is underway. What you're mindful of is the entity while you're listening to more evidence. I'll go ahead and capture that. This is unfortunate. The employees outside monitoring. This is P.O.C. And this is where the entity is engaging in what is the federal RICO case, like I stated. The entity that is stalking, as the government has shown to be. The government has not hidden the fact that it is stalking, and that's the prosecution of the people. Literally. The people of the state are already prosecuted as terrorists, and terrorists are being deported, losing custody of children. They're being prosecuted as terrorists, and this is going to change the trajectory of those who are prosecuted as such throughout the state of California, okay? Now, the entity that's engaged in this is the same entity that is poisoning me on behalf of the government that you hear stalking me at this venue, as an entity that you see stalking by the store manager. This is the entity that is indeed engaging in what is poisoning products that they are keeping me under surveillance as I purchase them. Don't forget about that. While they are obviously engaged in the P.O.C., they also are doing so as I document the fact that the entity engaged in what is that ongoing act of battery and what is, again, the attempted harm to my person, while Stater Brothers Markets is poison food that I purchased. Okay, not only did I buy it, but it was tampered with. And this is a pattern by the entity that is indeed gang stalking like Stater Brothers is. You hear the plain activity? I'm not the defendant here. These are the very fools that are going to be in court, and it's a slam dunk case. It's not just Stater Brothers in Ontario. The other Stater Brothers in Ontario, that's off of 4th Street. The Stater Brothers in Montclair, California, they're on the record. The Stater Brothers in Chino, California, they're on the record. The Stater Brothers in San Bernardino, California, they are on the record. And the Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt Boulevard are engaging in that. And this is impunity. It's relevant to civil damages, and it's relevant to prison. You are going to prison while you're looking at the store manager gang stalking. You're going to prison while your employees are targeting with impunity. You're going to prison while you are gang stalking with the government in this manner, and they're doing so in furtherance of murder. This is not just a corrupt business. This is an entity that is including through the business of a surveillance under the guise of maintaining a grocery store. And this is the entity that's engaging in poisoning on behalf of that entity. This is P.O.C. This is psychopathic pacing, where David Quinones is monitoring my vagina. It is currently 6:14 a.m. And this is the entity that is engaging in stalking, like you're sure that Stater Brothers is, because they're also stalking me in Fontana, where there is not even an airport, which is also ongoing conclusive evidence of the city of Ontario that is gang stalking, and doing so that is irreconcilable with the ongoing clear targeting by that city. This is a public nuisance, which is outside of what is an agreement with the city, where they're hovering over me at the entrance of the Stater Brothers at 646 West Hall Boulevard, where you are taking off from the airport, and none of the surveillance that I've captured with the commercial airline companies that are engaging in terrorism are having any basis to be hovering and creating this level of public disturbance as they are. But that's because the public is engaged in surveillance with the city of Ontario, with the airline companies. And this is relevant to what David Quinones is doing. He is a violent sex offender who was aware of all the evidence that has been captured, and this has not deterred this predator, this co-conspirator of murder, and he is also facilitating and maintaining a criminal forum for the people of the state to come into a grocery store and stalk me, harass me, target me in the ways in which I've documented. And I'm subject to poisoning by this entity that is Stater Brothers as well. And you're going to prison, just like I documented. You're poisoning. I just want to be clear, you are going to federal prison. And the government, moreover, is providing evidence for everybody that is relevant to systematic monitoring at Stater Brothers for prison. Okay, this is the P.O.C. It is currently 6:15 a.m. You're listening to what is psychopathic pacing while you see in the video the fake moon is over me, and what you've already seen, the fake sun that is remaining from sun up until setting. I've already captured that here. This is where the entity is providing that irreconcilable, non-controversial, clear evidence for prosecution. And the rules are, when you're engaging in this, it's prison. And so clearly, Mr. Quinones, they're ready for prison. Okay, the people of the state, they're ready for prison. The serial stalkers, they're ready for prison, because that's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly what they're engaging in. This is the pattern of conduct, and the entities engaging in this. This is David Quinones is the store manager. They're inside of the venue stalking. As you hear this plane activity, I'm inside of the grocery store, and they're stalking me physically inside of the grocery store, monitoring my device. And that's how clear and connected the ongoing evidence in the corruption of Stater Brothers markets is. This is a substantial civil case, and it's also relevant to a criminal case for businesses that are engaged in surveillance in California. This is the beast system, and this is your understanding of how it operates. This is P.O.C. It's currently, while I'm on surveillance cameras, which I also use as documentation, I will be using the surveillance cameras. This is evidence against the entity. It's currently 6:16 a.m. Alrighty, this is license plate 1545817, operated by a Latino male, short, dark, brown skin, approximately 5'6", employee number 42107, I believe. Nonetheless, I just want to document bus number 2347, and I'm going to document what he's going to tell me right now, that I can't get back on the bus and go and pay for the fare and go with him. This is P.O.C. Okay, you're saying I can't get on the bus?
No, I'm not saying you can't get on the bus. I'm saying you could take the next bus. Because you only get one way over here, and then you can walk and ride the bus all day if you have a day pass. But you just can't ride the same bus all day, you know what I'm saying?
No, not all day. I need to go in the opposite direction. You're going that direction, right?
Yeah, then get the next bus. You already came with me.
But you're saying, I know. You're just saying I can't get on your bus, right?
I'm not saying you can't get on my bus. I'm saying that I'm following protocol. I'm not supposed to let you on the bus, back on the bus with me.
So you're saying I can't get on the bus then, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, that's what I wanted to find out. So even though I'm a paying customer, you're not going to let me get on the bus to go in the opposite direction?
You just came this way.
Yeah, I did. So you're saying I can't get on the bus to go whatever route you're going, 61. If I want to get on Route 61, you're saying I can't, right?
Go call my supervisor so
okay.
He can talk to you.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
You want to call them?
No, not really. If it comes around.
Okay, is there somewhere in the bus book that says that once you take a route and you can't get back and go the opposite direction on that same route? Where's that protocol written?
Huh?
Where is that so I'm just trying to find out.
All the operators try the same thing.
Call the operator?
Yeah, let me go get a operator who's been there longer than me.
Thank you. This is P.O.C. All right, there is no rule that states that as a paying customer, you're limited to the route that you can get on, and especially when you don't know where somebody is going. But they're monitoring. That's what this is about, and it's ongoing targeted harassment. This is P.O.C. And I believe the employee number is 42107. He can go get his gang members to join in on that. That is not a policy. And it's also, again, the entity that's engaged in the pattern of conduct. This is where the fake sun rises and sets. This is what gang members do. They engage in what is groupthink, and they create those rules. But it's not in writing. I'm going to prosecute for it. It's P.O.C. A paying customer is a paying customer, period. This is P.O.C. It's currently 8:06 a.m. Just to be clear, this is Route 61. So I did board at the Emporia place where the City of Ontario is gang stalking me, which I documented, and I took the bus to the Fontana Metrolink train station where I remain subject to the pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C.
Okay, what stop are you getting off at?
I need to, okay, I don't mind telling you, on Inland Empire, I believe.
That's all the way back over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just, riding the bus or what? All day?
Am I, is there somewhere that I'm supposed to, is there?
No, you can't ride the bus all day. It's not the whole day.
No, it's not all day.
Yeah. Okay,
It's not all day.
Okay, get off over.
Is that okay with you, or is it a problem? Are you sure?
Yeah, so long as you get off right there.
Okay, so you typically have to report where you're planning to get off on the bus as well. Pay attention to all that. This is P.O.C. All right, thank you. Would you like to see my bus pass again? Are you waiting? They're not getting on because I'm boarding right now. He was gonna let them on. I'm going to prosecute Omnitrans. These are gang members, and they're very unprofessional. And the more that they're documented, the more that it comes out. P.O.C. It's currently 8:08 a.m. Alrighty, Metrolink is indeed monitoring. You're going to recall what he stated. Everything that he stated. Oh, this is a protocol. This is a, policy. Where is it written? Because everything that is policy is written in the bus book. It's not in the bus book. And I'm asking him questions that I already know the answer to. I am displaying the ongoing methods of targeting by an entity. Okay? And this is a corrupt business. This is a RICO case. And it's also, these are gang members that are conspiring my murder, and these are the ways in which they're engaged in what is ongoing incremental methods of hostility, aggression, targeting. And it is relevant to psychological torture. It's in furtherance of murder. This is all state action while they're also making money. All right, this is P.O.C. It's 8:09 a.m. I just want you to see the verbiage on the bus pass as well. There's no such policy even on a bus pass. Limit one use per route in one direction or anything of this nature. This is the entity that's very hostile to me because they're targeting me, and they've targeted the person that's going to prosecute them. So I am subject to all manner of harassment, and this is keeping record of it because I'm going to prosecute. I'm going to and it's criminal activity. I'm not just getting paid for it. They're being charged for criminal activity. It's P.O.C.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Thank you. Did you need to see my... Okay, thank you. Oh, boy. All right, I just want to confirm I am on the bus. This is P.O.C. It's 8:15 a.m. It is 402, employee number 4102. It is 8:16 a.m. This is P.O.C. right here at the Fontana Unified School District right here. You need to know that the school districts are engaged in criminal surveillance while they are in the business of handling children, all right, and ostensibly maintaining the malicious guise of being concerned with literacy and the protection of, and the education of children. These are gang stalkers, and the fact is that the fake sun is over me at 2:05 p.m. the same time at the Fontana Lewis Library at the back window that's facing Spring Street and Sierra, where I'm located, where the people of the state that are in this environment that is supernatural are stalking, and that includes those of a school district. Okay, the entity's engaging in this pattern of conduct, and by the way, I was kept under surveillance throughout the entirety of my education through secondary school, into college, and in law school as well, keeping me under surveillance, and that is relevant to targeting while receiving my education. So the entity is engaging in what is relevant context regarding my GPA, regarding my performance. The entity engaging in what is targeting in the ways in which that don't accurately reflect my abilities and my skill set. Nonetheless, this is the entity that's engaged in that P.O.C. The fake sun is what is over the Fontana Lewis Library facing Spring and Sierra, not the natural environment. This fake sun is moving. This is dynamic as opposed to stationary outside of the window of the Fontana Lewis Library in Fontana, California. And that is also the same intersection at the Lewis Library where I'm present at 8:35 in the morning. This is all manner of what is impossible, which is where the people of the state are shown to be engaging in surveillance throughout the state of California. They are merely demons who are highly malicious, engaging in an unspoken system that they cannot deny. They can't even address it, which is why they look to the left and the right, and they criminally defame. While the entity engages in those tactics, they will be subject to what are federal charges regarding criminal defamation in prison. All right, the evidence speaks for itself, and no lying demon has to admit anything. The entity is engaged in the pattern of conduct, and it is in that specific environment where the government has been very clear about gang stalking, and it is unhelpful to the people of the state who are being prosecuted as domestic terrorists. Okay, this is Cypress. This is Cypress right here and San Bernardino Avenue. I am in the center. The fake sun is over me in particular, very specific with regard to who is being targeted. It's not ambiguous, and it certainly isn't within anyone's imagination. And the entity that engaged in criminally defaming my character, particularly even using my evidence while also stealing it and trying to claim it as theirs and copying off of it, those are the very actors that are targeting me and furtherance of murdering me. This is P.O.C. It is currently 2:10 p.m. I am aboard Omnitrans, where I am being targeted with impossible light right here, where demons are stalking with the business Omnitrans and know exactly who I am, know exactly where I'm located, which is the pattern of conduct. It's P.O.C. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. This is Fontana Police stalking in a black helicopter, doing so at the infamous Orange Way in Sierra, surrounding me with the people of the state who are sharing in that conspiracy to murder. 8 Paul, Robert, Nancy, 805. 9 Thomas, 053. David, Charlie, Robert, Wendy, Apple, Sam, Henry. P.O.C. with tinted windows, trying to conceal his identity. License 75893 Apple 2. This is a minion that's monitoring, honking his horn. This is federal prison. This is Fontana Police. P.O.C. 90980 Victor 3. Stalking with the Fontana Police, and he's honking, monitoring. I'm not in the way. They're here stalking. This is the fake sun. Okay? Don't forget about what Allied Universal's doing on video in the morning. Right? Remember that? That's in the morning. This is the same Fontana Metrolink train station where the Fontana Police are stalking and the people of the state are engaging in what is monitoring together, stalking together. Guess what's happening with this police department? First of all, they're exposed as domestic terrorists. Second of all, they're stalkers. All right? And gang stalking police departments are being federally prosecuted. Okay? This is, again, Michael Dorsey, who is an exposed domestic terrorist, an enemy of the state, a threat to American citizens. They are stalking an American citizen who was capturing evidence of it, and they're doing it again on another day. They flew circles over the Fontana Lewis Library, terrorizing me. That was during the 1 p.m. hour. It is 6:03 p.m. There is no sun that would still be over the Fontana Metrolink train station. It was the same city, same block. Okay, and then I came over here and they were stalking in the white and blue helicopter and that was during the 1 p.m. hour. This is the Fontana Police that are stalking. Okay, the entity stalking with commercial plans. Look at Southwest back here. Southwest is going to be paying substantial damages never before contemplated under federal law. Stalking with the city of Fontana, stalking with the city of Los Angeles, stalking with the city of Ontario. Doing so. This is P.O.C. There's no airport over here. There's no airport, and there's also no sun. that's going to be mobile through the video of the windows of the Omnitrans. You're seeing me here stationary and Omnitrans is crossing path, and then you see what I'm documenting, what they're targeting me with, how they're evidence of them targeting when I'm on the bus. And then you have the same face in here. I like Universal. Remember all that? She's pressing charges. Remember that she's got privacy while she's engaged in criminal surveillance. Remember that? Pulling out your like you're gonna pepper spray me. They're going to prison. They're going to prison, and it's the Fontana Police Department that are speaking when they're engaging in that. And I documented it. That's federal prison. And so are those under what is Michael Dorsey gang stalking. I documented Jay Escarpi gang stalking me at the Fontana Lewis Library 22. He's going to prison. He's going to federal prison. This is how domestic terrorism is going to be prosecuted. And they are giving what is an advertisement regarding domestic terrorists that are all around in California, and I'm exposing them and their demons. This is the Fontana Metro League train station under the fake sun, 6:04 p.m., which followed me from the Lewis Library, and so did the Fontana Police Department. Using helicopters, they are aroused by engaging in terrorism, and they're going to be prosecuted as terrorists, not as police officers. They don't have any due process protections, no bureaucratic tape. There's no police association. They're going to be prosecuted as terrorists in the U.S. This is P.O.C. This is Michael Dorsey. All right, in Upland, it's Marcelo Blanco. In Ontario, it's Michael Lorenz. I'm prosecuting them. This is P.O.C. This is P.O.C. All right, the entity is following through the neighborhood by helicopter. And this is specific to stalking. When I'm in the neighborhood at on Euclid Avenue, walking from Upland, the entity is flying circles over my head in the neighborhood. When I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library, the entity is flying in circles over my head. When I'm in the city of Fontana, actually, you have the same pattern of the entity flying in circles over my head. This is the P.O.C. And this is where the people of the state are indeed gang stalking. This is stalking with. I'm going to document this address right here. This is relevant to facilitating venues where the people of the state will be subject to prison for engaging in what is terrorism. That's what this is. The entity behaving like we're in Baghdad. They're conspiring murder, engaging in what is also sex trafficking. This entity engaging in that, engaging in pedophilia, engaging in what is a conspiracy to murder, engaging in federal stalking. All of this is relevant to federal stalking under Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2. They're also demons engaging in demonic behavior, relevant to the elements of monitoring, light activity, relevant positioning, and audible activity. And they're following me in the neighborhood while I'm walking. This is El Pescador over here. This is the entity that's Lockout Studios off of Euclid Avenue. And this is F Street. And this is Lemon. This is the pattern of conduct, and this is the entity that is, again, Mike Lorenz and the Fontana Police Department of, that's the Ontario Police and the Fontana Police sharing that pattern of conduct. They're going to be federally prosecuted. The government's engaged in what is sexually violent criminal conduct. It's a criminal enterprise, and they are sharing and targeting me as I'm going amongst the cities, just like you see is shared with Upland. And what is in common is that the people of the state are sharing in this criminal system. It is surveillance, and they will be going to prison. They are the people of the state. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, 615 Lemon Avenue. Okay, this is the people of the state that are being federally prosecuted. That's impossible light across the building while the entity is crossing path. They're monitoring. That's impossible light. All right, and you have psychopathic pacing just like the Fontana Police, Southwest Airlines, gang stalking in Fontana, California at the Fontana Metrolink train station. And in the city of Ontario, the same pattern of conduct is underway. And this is an entity that's gang stalking the one who is federally prosecuting them. Okay, this is relevant to criminal acts that this entity has committed while they've been engaged in surveillance and furtherance of murder the entire time. And those criminal acts are relevant to the ongoing terrorism that Michael Lorenz is being federally prosecuted for. And this is what you're mindful of. Because additional sex crimes, additional criminal acts by a population is relevant to the gang stalking that I'm subject to. This is P.O.C. It's currently 9:49 p.m. This is 615 Lemon Avenue. They are inside of their venues stalking. I'm going to document their license plates. This is the entity that is subject to federal prison. P.O.C. This 6 Frank Bob David 529 at 615 Lemon Avenue, where the people of the state are stalking in the path. All right, and the entity is maintaining this environment while they are indeed engaged in stalking through the neighborhood. That's, again, they're in their homes stalking in the neighborhood while the government is maintaining that specific environment. P.O.C. All right, this is both the police and the airport stalking. This is G Street, El Pescador. This is what the entity is doing while I am in Fontana. You're looking at them hovering over Sierra Avenue and Orangeway. This is the entity that is stalking in Ontario and Fontana. As I'm showing you the pattern of conduct amongst the cities. This has nothing to do with the airport either. This is G Street. So Tracy Banks, Woodside Senior Apartments, is along this same street where the entity is stalking, as I showed you, where the fake sun was rising and setting. And this is that airport that's stalking as I'm going north in alignment with Euclid Avenue. This is Lemon. So just to show you, the police and the airport represent the same city of Ontario. And Paul Leon is being federally prosecuted as I'm showing you that ongoing terrorism that this terrorist is funding in the city and that he's sharing in. This is P.O.C. with the population. Okay, this is a city that's monitoring. P.O.C. It is currently 9:51 p.m. All right, this is documentation capturing the city of Ontario stalking as I'm walking through the neighborhood. So this is the entity stalking as I am walking from Andy's Burgers to what is along Lemon Avenue. All right, so crossing the street at Plum and Holt and walking down what is Lemon Avenue. And then the entity stalking as I'm walking onto El Morado and then onto Euclid Avenue. These are the housing, this is the housing area that I'm documenting when I'm walking to Upland Public Library at 6 in the morning in the dark, and the entity is stalking as an airport as I'm traveling north up the Euclid Avenue, and the entity is stalking street for street, flying over all the housing area, El Morado, Plaza Serena, the entity that's gang stalking along Princeton, along Harvard, as I'm documenting La Dene, all these houses as I'm traveling north up Euclid Avenue. This is the area where the entity is stalking as I'm going street for street, and I'm capturing images and video of that. The people of the state are gang stalking. These are the same people of the state that I've already documented in video and in images as I'm walking, traveling to the Upland Public Library. All right, this is the same neighborhoods, the same entity that's engaging in that. And this is, again, the city of Ontario that's engaging in this criminal pattern of conduct with that population. I want to document their stalking as I'm walking through that neighborhood. This is the same neighborhood that's engaging in that life-threatening criminal activity, and they're going to be prosecuted as that population. It's the same notion with regard to criminal summoning. They're subject to federal prison when they're engaging in criminal summoning. As the entity, the population is stalking and monitoring and engaging in terrorism with that entity that is gang stalking with them through the neighborhood, this is the entity that's going to be federally prosecuted. The entire neighborhood is going to be prosecuted. They're all terrorists. And this is the city of Ontario, and they're going to be prosecuted with every area of federal law and state, local, and federal laws and policies in order to prosecute this entity. They're accepting government programs. They're relying upon government loans. They're recipients of programs helping them pay for the houses that they maintain. They maintain access to children. They are currently in this country as immigrants, etc., in addition to being federally prosecuted as violent sex offenders who are engaging in domestic terrorism. This is that same neighborhood. This is the city of Ontario, and they're documenting, stalking me through that neighborhood, and this is going on the record because that population is going to be federally prosecuted, and I've shown where that neighborhood is. The entity stalking me, keeping that fake sun, as I've shown you from Ontario to Upland, and now you're looking at the city of Fontana sharing in that pattern of conduct, which I've already captured on the record prior to 2026. All right, this is indeed the entity that's engaging in terrorism, and the entity that's engaging in terrorism using helicopters as though we are in Baghdad, like you're going to drop bombs on me, you're going to start shooting at me, you're going to come kidnap me again, and then refer to some law that you don't have any authority under while you're stalking me, while you've engaged in stealing from me, sex trafficking me, harassing and terrorizing me, falsely accusing, etc., in concert with the people of the state. This is the entity that's going to be comprehensively prosecuted, and they're doing so while they are in their homes, which are under the law facilitating venues, third-party facilitating venues, and this population is going to be prosecuted. This is the documentation of the people of the state who are terrorists acting with a level of impunity that is unlawful as well. It's going to be noted with regard to the entity that's going to be civilly liable. The people of the state are going to be civilly liable, and they're going to be criminally prosecuted. This is P.O.C. It is currently 9:59 p.m.